Good afternoon, and welcome to the Big Show. The Big Show coming at you is Paul Zeise, of course. As always, we are here pretty much Monday through Thursday to talk about a whole lot of other stuff that goes on in Pittsburgh sports. Clearly, we talk a lot about the Steelers, but there's other stuff that we get into. So hopefully we can cover a lot of ground today. We're probably just going to take a look and make some predictions when it comes to the NFL season. I think that's going to be, one of the situations, one of the things that is really important is to be able to take a look at the season and see how it's going to go. But first off, the Big Show brought to you by Archie's on Carson Street. Get down to Archie's home of 80-cent wings, Monday through Thursday, home of the Paul Zeise grilled cheese sandwich. Tonight would be a good time to get to Archie's. You got the Eagles and the Cowboys on Thursday night football. Monday night, you've got Monday night football. And here's the thing about Archie. During the football season, he's open all day on Sunday. Usually they're closed on Sundays, but during the NFL season, you can get to Archie's 11 a.m. until the last game is over. Archie will be there, and, of course, you will be able to enjoy everything that Archie's presents to you. And if you get there, tell him I said hello. Tell him that I sent you. Now then, we're ready to do some predictions for today. And, let's see. Where can we start? How about we'll start with this. The big elephant in everybody's room. Will Mike Tomlin be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers at this time next year? That is the elephant in the room that nobody seems to want to, really address. And I'm going to tell you, my prediction is this. It's not just, yes, he will be the coach. It's unequivocally yes. I'm not sure where all of this stuff came from, where people are trying to put this idea out there that Mike Tomlin is in his last year. They went all in, and they're trying to win this year, and all this other good stuff. And as a result, if they don't win, if they don't get a playoff win, if it doesn't go the way they want it to go, well, all of a sudden, somehow, some way, Mike Tomlin's going to step away. And if they do get some playoff wins, Mike Tomlin's going to step away and go find another job somewhere else. I mean, I guess in theory, there seems to be some logic there, but it seems kind of silly to me that it's taking on a life of its own, which it has. It's one of those things where I really just don't understand why these things grow legs. And now it's like there are a number of people that are just saying, oh, well, guess what? It is, this is going to happen or whatever. It's like, no, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to be the coach next year. Period. He's going to be the coach next year and probably beyond. And one of the things that I'll tell you that I think is really important to know about Mike Tomlin is that he's a coach. I don't know that he's a guy that wants to do TV. He enjoys the process of coaching. He wants to be a coach. He likes breaking down film. He likes, the competition of, going through and matching wits with other people. He likes the fact that he gets to interact with players and teach players. He's said this on many occasions. He's a football coach. He doesn't really have any interest in doing much of anything beyond that. And, he's somebody who has said that many times. And the reason I say that is because there's this idea that he's going to go and, what he'll do is he's going to jump ship and he's going to go take, what did Tom Brady get, $20-some million a year to be on TV? And, that's what he's going to do. And, Yeah, no, he's not Bill Cowher, right? He's actually the opposite of Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher, when he was the coach of the Steelers, do you know what his reputation was? Never the first guy in the building, never the last guy to leave. He was a guy who believed in, work-life balance, and he didn't care. And he made it pretty clear. His daughters had basketball games, he was there. His coaches, he'd leave the building all the time. His coaches were still there working. You know what? I actually kind of admire that. But Tomlin really isn't that guy. He doesn't golf. He's not really into, other hobbies. He doesn't have a whole lot of other stuff he likes to do. He's a football head. He's in some ways what we'd call a meathead. Just a guy that all he wants to do is just work, coach football. And so my question to everybody that says, well, he's going to leave, if, it's a big if, but if he were going to go leave, where is he going to go where he's going to find a better organization than the one he's already working in? Like, honestly, there's probably not a better job in any NFL than being the Steelers coach. Because the bottom line is the Steelers don't fire their coaches. And so, because they don't fire their coaches, what are we talking about here? You got job security. You got an organization that's run probably the right way. You've got everything you possibly need. You don't have really a meddling owner. Why would you want to go take a job somewhere else is my question. And I think that's the question that I would ask every single person who says he's going to go. That's what I would tell you. Every single person that wants to tell you he's going to go, ask them, where is he going? Because he's not going to take another job in the NFL, because there isn't a better job than he has already. You can say, well, look at the Chiefs. Yeah, that lasts as long as Pat Mahomes is there. And Kansas City is actually a pretty good organization, but they've got a guy that I'm pretty sure they're not going to move on from anytime soon. Name another job that you would rather have than the Steelers job. Seriously. Philadelphia? Maybe, but guess what? Guys have won Super Bowls there or gotten to Super Bowls too. Guys have won Super Bowls and gotten Super Bowls, and they've also gotten fired. That's a tough – they run it. Their thing is basically, you know what? When we're supposed to win the Super Bowl, we go win it or else you lose your job. Sirianni is like 2 bad seasons away from getting fired there. All right, name another job. There just isn't a better job, really, than the Steelers from the standpoint of having job security, from the standpoint of having, the ability to know as long as they're decent, he's going to continue to work, right? They're going to keep him. But I look at the organizations that are out there. 49ers have, they've changed coaches. The Giants have, fired Tom Coughlin, who had two Super Bowl championships, and he got fired. Baltimore fired Brian Billick. If you want to tell me Baltimore is a similar job to the Steelers, that's true. But they've got a guy I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon either. Those jobs are not going to come open. So my point to you is it's really, really, really important to note when someone says something, I have always in my career ran it past my BS meter. I said, does this make sense? Does this make sense? And every so often, you know what? I'm wrong with my BS meter, but on this one, I don't think I am. It's become like a talking point. Oh, well, he's going to leave. But again, I don't take him as a guy who wants to go do TV. And he's a football coach. And, some some genius out there, I forget who it was, somebody threw out there some nonsense about, well, Alabama should go after him. Mike Tomlin ain't going to college. He's just not, So, if you go through every organization out there, I really believe he has the best job in the NFL because he's not a losing season away from getting fired. He just isn't. He's got job security. And he's at the end of this year, what is it, next year or early next year, he'll get another extension. So as long as he wants to continue to coach, he's going to be the coach here. So my prediction is, doesn't matter if he gets a playoff win or not, guess what? He's still going to be the coach. I just don't really believe that there's any truth to this idea that, oh, well, he's not necessarily, going to be here next year. So that's what I would tell you is that part of it. Now, and actually Ray brings up a good point here on the comments. The Eagles are different than the Steelers from the standpoint of the Eagles they don't just basically give what I would call lip service to winning. They actually want to win. And so it's funny, I've laughed, right, many times with this whole never had a losing season stuff, and I compare it to the Eagles, and I say, would you rather be the Eagles or the Steelers? Because the Eagles had a 4-13 or whatever it was, 3 or 4 years ago? And now they've been to back-to-back Super Bowls. And this is the second Super Bowl win in about 10 years. But hey, they had a 4-13. Would you go, if I told you you're going to win 2 Super Bowls, would you take a 4-13 in the middle? There are some Steeler fans who tell me no. It's just hilarious. Oh, my goodness. Gametime is your go-to app for all tickets, last-minute tickets, tickets to shows, tickets to sporting events. It's got a number of unique features, right? It's got a number of things that many other of these apps can't give to you. So download the Gametime app. Use the promo code PG Sports, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. So that's the first thing. Download the Gametime app right now. Take out your phone, download it, right? Or your computer. Download the app. PG Sports is the promo code. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. What makes Gametime different? Well, here's a couple things. Value. I think one of the best things about this is when you see that the price that you put, okay, you want tickets to this game or tickets to that game, and you put it in, the price is the price. The fees are included, so you know exactly what you're paying. That is tremendous. You go to some of these other apps, guess what? You pick out a $50 ticket, you go to checkout, and the next thing you know, it's an $85 ticket. That's not the case with Gametime. If it says $50, it's $50. The other thing is you can save a little bit more money if you know what section you want to sit in. If you just say, hey, any seats that come available in this section, that's what I want. And guess what? If they match you with that, they put you in seats. The other thing is if you have a favorite team, they will snag the ticket deals for you before anyone else. So to me, I think, that's a big ordeal. I think that's one of those things where it's just different. It's easy to use, right? It's very easy to use. And again, it's a little bit cheaper and more cost effective and also more honest about the prices than all of these other apps. So go to Gametime, download the Gametime app, use the promo code PG Sports for $20 off on your first purchase. Now then, let's delve into the NFL. Here's what's kind of interesting to me. If you look at last year's playoffs, okay? Last year's playoffs, Here's how it went. Kansas City, the 1 seed. Buffalo, the 2 seed. Baltimore, the 3 seed. Houston, the 4 seed. The Chargers, the 5 seed. The Steelers, the 6 seed. And the Broncos were the 7 seed. I'm going to tell you this much right now. I cannot make a case for any other team other than the Cincinnati Bengals to break into that party again this year. I mean, I think really, it's amazing, but I think if you look at it, the Bills are going to probably cakewalk through the AFC East. Baltimore will probably win the AFC North by a game or two. Houston is going to, just blow through the AFC South. And Kansas City will probably have tougher games because I think there's 2 playoff teams there with them. But Kansas City will win the AFC West. Those are your 4 top seeds. Those are 4 top seeds last year. I think they'll be 4 top seeds this year. I think the Steelers, I think Denver and the Chargers probably are going to take a step forward now. Year 2 of Bo Nix, year 2 of Jim Harbaugh. Those 2 teams, I think they're basically going to probably take a next step forward, which means they're not going to get caught from behind. The only thing I can see that could happen, right? Because let's face it, I think the Raiders stink. I think the other 3 teams not named the Texans in the AFC South stink. The Browns stink. And the other 3 teams in the AFC East, besides the Bills, stink. Maybe the Jets are a little better than you think. I don't know. I don't think so. But maybe they are. But they're not going to be a playoff team. And the other team, the only other team I can really make, is going to crash the party, maybe, is the Bengals. And that's going to take Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins to go crazy like they did last year. But they all have to stay healthy, and they're going to have to win games by scoring 28, 30, 35 points every single week because they're just not that good defensively. So if those 3 guys go crazy, maybe the Bengals get in there. I doubt it, but maybe the Bengals get in there. But we'll see. I think that's where we're at with that. So to me, I look at it and I think it's the same exact people. Honestly, same exact teams are going to be in the playoffs this year that were in it last year. Who do I think is going to emerge? Here's what makes it really difficult. Until somebody beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I know the Eagles did last year, but somebody beats them in the AFC playoffs. And they're probably going to be the number 1 seed, so you're going to have to beat them in Kansas City until somebody does that. I guess did the Bengals do that maybe once? Until somebody does that, I'm not going to believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to get beat. Just not. I think it's one of those things where somebody has to beat them to prove. The Ravens, the Bills, right? Those probably are the 2 where you would say they have the best chance because of their quarterbacks. But I don't know. Is the Texans' defense, a little bit better? Has their offense gotten a little bit better? If it did, maybe they have an opportunity. Bottom line is, it's boring, but I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win the AFC again because I just don't see anybody beating Patrick Mahomes. If he's healthy and you give him an opportunity, we've seen it in the playoffs. I mean, what's his play? His playoff record is something really ridiculous. It almost doesn't even seem real. Like, he's like 18-3 or something in the playoffs. 17-4 is what he is in the playoffs. 17-4. And if you think about it, right? Let's look at his 4 losses. Okay, he lost to New England in the AFC Championship game. He lost to Tampa in the Super Bowl. That's 2. He lost that game to the Bengals, and last year he lost to the Eagles. That's it. That's it. And I ask you, somebody's got to beat him. Period. It took Brady and it took Burrow to beat him. And really and Brady twice actually. But even then, Brady really didn't beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs' defensive line, just like the Eagles' defensive line, they were the ones that beat. They were the ones that dominated him. And I'm just saying, it's one of those things where I look at it and say, until somebody beats them, I just don't think you can, basically say there's going to be. It's hard for me to pick against them, period. He's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. And so, it's so easy to sit here and say, well, this guy or that guy, but you've got Patrick Mahomes and you have to beat him, period. And if you don't, then you're really, you can't get out of the AFC. I think the NFC is a little tougher. I do like the Eagles. I think the Packers are really good. I do. And I think the Lions are really good. So I'm gonna tell you, I really believe if you look at it, the Lions, the Packers, and the Eagles are probably the 3 teams that are going to come out. One of those 3 teams will come out of the NFC. I think that those 3 teams will win their division. And then I think the other division will probably be won by San Francisco. You've got a couple of playoff teams. I actually, believe it or not, think that the Packers, I think the Lions will win their division. The Packers will finish second. So I think that's 2 playoff teams, right? I think San Francisco will win their division. I think the Eagles will win their division. And that leaves the NFC South, and I think Tampa is still the best team in that division. And I think that really when you look at the rest of it, I don't know that I really like many other teams to get to the wild card. Maybe the Rams. Does Stafford have one more run in him? I don't know. The Commanders probably. So I'll go with the Rams, the Commanders, and the Lions as the 3 wild cards. And, Green Bay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think Green Bay is going to win that division. I don't know what I said before, but so there you have it. My Super Bowl is very simple. I'm going to go with the Packers against the Chiefs. The rematch, isn't that a rematch of like Super Bowl I or something like that? The Packers against the Chiefs. That's what I would tell you is I like when I look at all the things and trying to add them up. That's what I would tell you I like. The Packers are probably the team that most people are overlooking because everyone's talking about the Lions and the Eagles. But I like their defense. I like their quarterback. I like some of the weapons they have. I'm pretty sure I like that. As for the Steelers, leading rusher to me, easy. Jaylen Warren will be the leading rusher. Metcalf will be the leading receiver. Most receptions, maybe Freiermuth, actually. But leading receiver in terms of yards and touchdowns, it'll be Metcalf. DJ Watt will lead the team in sacks again. Peyton Wilson will lead the team in tackles. The Steelers. Now here's the question. Will they win a playoff game this year? The answer is no. And the reason I say that is because they are in the same position they've been in. They're going to be the 5 or the 6 seed, which means they're likely going to have to play Baltimore first or the Bills first on the road. And they're probably not going to win, period. You having trouble finding the right people to hire? Tired of sorting through endless resumes? Well, the future of hiring looks much brighter because ZipRecruiter's latest tools and features help speed up finding the right people for your roles. So you save valuable time. Now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/audio. With ZipRecruiter's new advances, you can easily find and connect with qualified candidates in minutes. See a candidate you're really interested in, you can unlock their contact info instantly. Use ZipRecruiter and save time hiring. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/audio right now, you can do it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Okay, so here we are on the verge of it all. I predict the Steelers will go 11-6, and they will finish second in the AFC North, and they'll make the playoffs. That's my prediction. I don't think they'll win a playoff game because I don't think they're going to win the division. And if they don't win the division, they have to go on the road. Period. Don't forget to go to Archie's this weekend. Sunday, he'll be there all day. Monday night, I'll be there as usual. Now Monday Night Football starting. Sunday, he'll be there. Monday Night Football. Thursday Night Football if you're looking for something to do tonight. And, of course, we've got the big match between Blake Snell and Paul Skeens going on right across over here at PNC Park as the Pirates play host to the Dodgers. Look for the sweep. So there's lots to go on, lots of things that are happening this weekend. Pitt, Penn State, and West Virginia are all playing. Of course, they're all playing tomato cans, so who cares? But they're all playing. And so should be a really, really busy weekend. Believe it or not, the next time you hear from me, it's going to be after an actual NFL game, as I will break it down in post-game, probably about 4 o'clock on Sunday. We will know a little bit more about your Steelers. Until we meet again, enjoy your night and have fun.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.